Hello everyone. This is Tobi from the Phuket Meditation Center, and you're listening to the Dharana Meditation Podcast. Let's sit together, calm the busy mind, and explore topics concerning character development, meditative training, and deeper self-knowledge. We begin by sitting upright, the head suspended from above, and the body relaxed at ease. Allow your breath to gradually slow down and sink into the belly. Breathing comfortably so that it feels nice. Softening your eyes, your heart, receiving yourself this moment with kindness, with compassion. Just giving yourself some space, allowing things to be just the way they are. There's nothing to change, nothing to control, nothing to fix. Just the way it is right now in this moment. Allow your consciousness to spread out within your body. Just feeling the body. Connecting body and mind. Keep the consciousness expanded. Feeling the whole body. Not just zooming into little parts, but aware of everything. aware of the feeling that there is a body there. Having a body feels like this. As you breathe in, be with that feeling. As you breathe out, let that feeling become a little bit more soft, a little bit more open, relaxed, calm. See if you can gain access to the feeling of the entire body breathing. Every cell of your body breathes in and out. Just let your mind rest with this full body breath. breathing, saturating the body with consciousness more and more. Feel the aliveness that is in every corner, in every cell of your body. You can even think of your entire body as being made out of breath. And all that really matters is this one breath. Just being mindful with this in-breath, this out-breath is perfectly enough. The previous breaths don't matter at all. And the future breaths also don't matter. What matters is this one breath right now. And you can always connect with that. The door is always open. You can think of this one breath as one session of meditation. You may find you have quite a lot of really good, pleasant sessions there. Becoming more and more soft as you breathe out. releasing all this unnecessary tension, with all those little knots and points of tension in the body, disentangle, dissolve. And from time to time, you may just want to let go of holding your attention just with this single facet of experience and allow it to explore the realm of sound, the realm of sensations, the realm of thought or vision. Just knowing how your attention moves from object to object without any effort, naturally. Just as natural as your heartbeat. There's nothing about your heartbeat that you are doing, that you are controlling. In the same way, if you allow your attention to move freely, you'll find that it simply moves to whatever it is attracted by. A sound, a feeling, a thought. We simply know that. Remain aware, awake to this movement of your attention. Notice how your attention all the time moves. It doesn't stay still in one point. may go to a sensation and follows the sensation for a couple of seconds. Then it goes to a sound, another sound, coming back to a different sensation. Even moving around within the field of a sensation. Or going from one thought to another, one idea to the next, one word, another word. Remaining aware of this ocean of movement. Wherever you look, everything's alive. Just remaining aware in a relaxed way of this infinite unfolding of sound, light, word, idea, vibration. If you find that a little bit difficult, then you can come back to the breathing, just feeling the entire body breathe, and very gently just resting with this experience of breath. Allow the mind to stabilize itself there, to center itself again. Sometimes it may feel easier to just be in control of something and have a task to do, rather than to just sit in awe. Of life or truth. And you can alternate, going with whatever it is that you enjoy most. Just sitting, observing what's going on without doing or interfering or controlling anything. Or gently keeping your attention around the breath, letting it rest there. And in your own time, you can slowly return back. You can open your eyes and stretch your body a little bit if you like. All right, good morning. It's good to see all of you. Now, the more we lose ourselves in what is false, what is untrue, the more we identify with that, the more we cling to these kind of things, the more we suffer. The more you suffer, the less you have access to happiness. Suffering is that thing that weighs you down. Happiness is that thing that happens when you release your burden. When you release that thing that ties you down and keeps you unfree, that you are bound up with. As soon as you release that, you feel better. This is true in any case. Anytime you remember that you were happy in your life, follows that rule. That happiness always arose as a direct result of releasing a previous suffering. Whether it was the suffering of boredom, or the suffering of loneliness, or the suffering of anger, frustration. Once you found a solution, once you could dissolve that lingering suffering, you felt a sense of happiness, lightheartedness. So that's how happiness arises. Happiness is a direct result of releasing suffering, releasing stress, releasing all forms of tension within your body, within your mind. And that tension is something that you can feel very directly within yourself if you stop and you pay attention. Only thing you need to do is look at yourself as you sit there in your body. Is that pleasant? Is that blissful? Do you experience a sense of rapture, joy, aliveness naturally or not? And for, I would say, most people in this world, it's pretty clear. You sit down and you experience all kinds of things. There's a whole lot of movements going on, a whole lot of shifts in our attention each minute, noticing this, then that. It's almost like we're searching something all the time, browsing, scanning, trying to get somewhere or get something that we can latch onto. And once we find something that's interesting, we latch onto it a little bit. We hold it a little bit. And we only hold it because we think it's worthwhile holding it. You wouldn't hold anything that you deem not worthy of, holding onto it. So we only hold those things that we perceive to be valuable and good, is a expected return there. If I hold this, it will make me happier, will lead to a greater sense of release. Therefore I hold this, therefore I analyze this, and I keep it in my mind or I keep it in my body. Maybe you keep tension in your body for the simple reason of protecting yourself. In fact, a lot of people, they build muscle as a kind of wall around themselves. Not only muscle, but fat too. As a protection. Very often, for example, people eat or train not because they actually need that much food or that much training. It's more a way of coping with something that arises when they don't do that. Like their emotions, their instabilities, their sadness, loneliness, unprocessed grief, sense of shame, remorse, guilt. And, avoiding these kind of things temporarily gives us a sense of relief because we don't have to deal with them for now. That feels okay. That feels quite good. But it leaves us with this lingering sense of being unfinished. There's a lot of unfinished work. That perhaps is best felt or experienced when you contemplate death. Your own death. Not just death in general, keeping yourself nicely shielded, but actually going in there and contemplating your own death. And how likely it is. So after all, it's not you that's beating your heart. It's not in your hands. How long you live, what's going to happen to you, all these things are not in your hands. Just like the weather or the waves are not in a sailor's hands. All you can do is just hope to be in control of your vessel somehow. And that's already where most people struggle, even just being in control of their own vessel. Instead, nowadays a lot of people are outraged at the weather and they protest and demonstrate against bad weather instead of actually learning to control their own vessel and dedicating more time to bring their own lives in order, to address their own pain and actually solve that. And that's already quite difficult to do. So it's much more comfortable avoiding that. It leaves us with this false sense of comfort, and we pay for that. You have some comfort, yes, but later you're going to pay for that. With a sense of remorse, sense of unfinished business, a fear of death, a fear of disease, a fear of loneliness, because you haven't transcended those things yet. You haven't addressed them yet. They're still unaddressed. And the longer you leave them unaddressed, the more loud they become. The more heavily they weigh on you. It's like having some problem in your basement and you're not addressing it. And as you're not addressing it, the problem becomes bigger and bigger. Maybe you have a mold problem or something in your basement and you're not addressing it because it's disgusting. It doesn't smell good. And so you just close the basement door and you just hope. You don't even think of it. As long as the basement door is closed, you're not smelling it, you're not experiencing it, so it's fine. But it doesn't solve it. It festers, right? It just keeps growing. The regrets, the remorse, the sense of unfinished business just keeps growing. And a lot of people feel this sense of dread or depression or lack of purpose, but they can't point their finger on what's that really. You completely forgot about your basement, but there is a smell in your house and you wonder, why is there this smell? I don't get it. It smells weird. It smells like humid. Something's wrong here. I know that something's wrong, but let's go out into the garden and enjoy some sunshine. Or let's play some games. Let's look into our phones and forget the smell for a while. Anything that smells bad in your own life, and you know what that is, all of you, you know. I don't have to tell you. You're sensitive to what hurts within yourself. And if you keep just distracting yourself away from it, it isn't solved. So how to solve these things? Well, first of all, you need to have a genuine love for truth. Kind of a devotion for what is true. Enough so that you're willing to look at yourself honestly. Not with any filters. Just really honesty. Nice little exercise you can do is sit in front of a mirror naked for an hour. Just look at yourself. Is that difficult? Well, there is a conflict with truth then. You're looking into the mirror. It couldn't be more honest. The mirror is just giving you a perfectly honest reflection of what is. Maybe you don't like what you see. What does that mean? You don't like truth. You don't like the fact. Those things that you see, they bother you. You're in resistance to them. Why? Meditation is such a mirror too. If you sit down, you close your eyes, you keep your body still, you stop running away from your little discomforts, you actually address them, you look at them, and you begin to bring love, warmth, openness, spaciousness into that. Also light, the light of consciousness, of awareness. You're actually not looking away, you're looking directly at it for the sake of understanding it more deeply. The result of that is that these problems dissolve right there. A lot of them do. Especially those problems that have to do with your past or your future. And that then gives you space. And that space allows you to do things differently right now, so that you don't run into the same problems over and over again. So we're not doomed to repeat what doesn't work over and over again, because we're never really paying attention to what we're doing. The solution is to connect with what is life, to connect with life, to connect with truth, to connect with that. So what I said, the first thing is you want to love truth. So much so that you're willing to face it. That you're standing in its light. And within that light, you're gradually molten. You're melting away. And as you melt, as you relax, as you release, all those trapped fumes that were in your hardened body and your hardened mind and your closed heart are gradually releasing. And with that release, there is also your opportunity to not repeat the causes of those painful things. So you can truly let them go. There's not even the feeling of wanting to do it again, because the need for doing it is gone. And all that because you are willing to connect with life, to sit within aliveness. You sit within that presence. It's a great teacher, you know. You can see so much if you're just looking at yourself in this moment. You can see very clearly your frustrations, your impatience, your wish to get out of this, to get away from sitting, what kind of thoughts you think about, what kind of ideas you're having. Can see it so clearly. And each one of those things that make you a little bit more tense, that's an invitation for you to find release around that. So it's like little teachers, a lot of little teachers. Every little pain, every little form of tension is a little teacher giving you a teaching. And if you pay attention to it, if you have a certain devotion to finding out more about this and solving it, and unburdening yourself, then, you know, just being with that and learning from yourself, learning from your direct experience of life is the way out of so much misery. That's the meaning of sincerity. You're willingly looking at yourself, addressing what's there. You know, so many people, strikes me, you know, actually so many people go out to learn about themselves from someone else. Like, I feel like this, I feel like that, what's wrong with me? What should I do? Well, you actually could know what to do. Who would know better than yourself? Who would be more qualified than knowing what's in there and what's going on in there and how to release it and what you need to do and then following it? I think a lot of people actually want to hear some kind of comfortable excuse, maybe. Like, oh, you can blame your parents. That's comfortable. Some psychologists actually, their system may be based on that kind of idea that you are miserable right now because of what happened to you in the past. So let's talk about all those things that happened to you in the past so we can gradually resolve them. But there's also some psychological methods that totally disagree with that. I think it was Adler who actually suggested that, no, you're not entirely a product of your past. You're partially a product of your past, and what is happening to you right now is a product of your past, yes. But you right now also have the power to change these things. And a lot of the approaches that exist seem to be only dealing with kind of, not really empowering you through responsibility, but simply keeping you victimized to what happened to you. Even just in modern society, that's a big topic. Blaming this. I can't do it because our heritage. I can't do it because I'm black, I'm white, I'm whatever. Like, really? Is that something that you would really seriously subscribe to? Then you are paralyzed by exactly that belief. I can't because, fill in the blank, whatever your I can't is. You're limited then by that. Instead of perhaps thinking, what would empower me so I can? Let's focus on that. What could I do to make things better for myself and others right now? That would be a start, no? Rather than saying, well, I live in Thailand, so I'm subject to racism. I'm subject to a certain type of xenophobia. So that's just the foreigner. Make him pay more. That kind of stuff, right? Here's the walking ATM. You're generally just known as the Farang. No one talks to you with your name. It's just, the Farang guy there, the foreigner guy there, I'm totally fine with that. I have no problem with it at all. But you're subject to that. So now I could also assume a position of, feeling absolutely horrific about it and spot it everywhere I go. What? I'm again just the Farang. Excuse me, my name is Tobi. Okay? Please address me with Tobi. And I could get really riled up every time I notice that thing that I'm so sensitive to. That's a big problem. But it's not made by anyone other than myself. I'm the one that makes myself more and more sensitive. And now if I'm surrounded by a culture that supports my sensitivity, like, oh, come here, you have a boo-boo, someone called you a Farang. Oh, how dare they? Let's make a group where we all start complaining about Thai people calling us Farang. How dare they, right? Let's write Facebook posts. Let's shout them down whenever they dare to call us Farang. I'm more than just my skin color. How dare you to... How far you want to take it? How much of your lifetime, your precious energy, and your precious lifetime do you want to invest in this, to say it mildly, futile endeavor? What's that? Is it worth that much energy? Just live your life in outrage about the way things are. Doesn't make any sense to me. I never have any problems with Thai people. I've learned the language. I fit in. And I'm totally fine with being called Farang. There's absolutely no problem in my mind whatsoever about it. I refuse to enslave myself to a word. Why would I? Why would I emotionally depend myself on a sound that people make? Or even worse, why would I emotionally enslave myself to thoughts that others have of me? Like, how insane is that? It strikes me as completely insane to worry about what other people think. I think about other people sometimes. Mostly I think about myself. I think same goes for all of you guys. Most of the thought content is about me and my life, and occasionally you branch out of that. You look at another person and maybe you criticize them or you praise them in your mind, and then that's that. You just move on with your life. That's what we all do. Why would I worry about that in another person? This is something that I have zero control over. So why would I obsess about it? Like, I can't do anything about it. I might even try to do something about it and try to influence all of you to think the right things about me. But again, why would I waste my precious energy and time, my lifetime, to change your thoughts about me? It seems absurd to me. Totally, entirely crazy. And yet, if you look at yourself, the way you think, what you think about, what are you scared of, what is it that triggers you, all these kind of things, well, what role do you play in all that? Can you be honest enough to accept all responsibility that's in there from your side? And if you can, and you connect with the aliveness of that situation, and you release your tension around it, it can be liberated. It's not that you are freed of the grip of something. It's that you free it. You liberate your mind. You liberate your emotions. You liberate other people. It's not demanding the world to change for me. That's the definition of narcissism. I deserve the world to change for me. Everyone must cater to my emotions and my feelings, because that's the most important thing in this room are my emotions, my feelings, my thoughts, my beliefs. And you better accept them. Do you notice how I imprison all of you in that moment? How I'm a dictator in that room? How I immediately change the dynamics? Hey, don't think wrong. You're thinking the wrong thoughts. You should actually love me. Okay? You shouldn't criticize me in your mind at all. Stop being yourself and be the person I want you to be. Because I deserve that. I don't know why that's the case, why so many people these days, like especially younger generations, really seem to struggle with that. Is it parenting? Is it parents that never said no to their children? I don't know what it is. It's completely destroying resilience within modern kids. How easily are they triggered? How hard of a time have they with their own emotions? In other words, it makes me seriously sad. This is not a good direction. It has to be called out, I think. I'm all for empowering people, not making them weaker. It's like it's trouble if a word pulls you down into a whirlwind of rage for a week, losing all your good health, your vitality, your strength, your radiance, your love, your compassion, everything gone down the drain because of a word or something someone else said, and not even what someone else sent into your face, but online, in a virtual bubble, in a plastic box we're holding in our hands. What we see on that little plastic screen has more weight than anything. There's a grip on a lot of people these days. It's sad. It's like, where does that lead? So that's why I'm calling these things out. It's really important to call it out. If you see these kind of tendencies within yourself, wanting to control other people so they cater to your desires and your wishes and your demands, that's evil. I call it by its name. That's the work of evil. Wanting to dominate others for my own sake. I think evil is an appropriate description for that. If you have one person that rises to power with that kind of agenda, well, you have a problem like in North Korea. There's one person that dominates an entire country to cater to his wishes. That's evil. The results are clear. And it starts in our families. Heck, it even starts within yourself. You're sitting in meditation. You don't give yourself freedom. Focus on your breath. Don't be distracted. Don't feel that. Don't feel this. Focus. It's like dictatorship. Relax. Give yourself some space. The miracle is that the power of life in itself, the power of Mother Nature, is organizing itself through you if you let it. All you need to do is allow it to happen. And it happens perfectly. It's like a miracle. But as long as you're trying to control the process, you're grabbing onto it, trying to dominate yourself, it won't work. Okay? So, connect with life. Let it teach you. Surrender to it. Open your heart to it. It's a valuable thing. All right? Thank you very much for coming, guys. You have a nice week. Enjoy. We hope you enjoyed this episode and had a meaningful time. For more information and upcoming events, head over to our website at phuket-meditation.com. Thank you very much for listening and have a wonderful day.